Hey guys, welcome back to another review. Today we are taking a look at CosplaySky's Mandalorian costume. Now, as a means of disclosure, CosplaySky have sent me this costume for the purposes of review, same as they did with the Jedi costume that I previously looked at, but I have bought stuff from them as a customer before that, like my Krennic costume and my Luke Skywalker Tatooine costume. The Krennic costume I also did a review on, which is what led them to contact me to say, hey, do you want to do reviews on other stuff? So today we are looking at this because The Mandalorian has just finished and I really like that series, even though I'm in the UK and I totally haven't seen it yet. So this costume comes with everything you see here. It doesn't come with boots and it doesn't come with a helmet because they do offer the helmet separately and a couple of different versions of the helmet. So you've got a slightly cheaper, sort of thinner plastic helmet and a slightly better quality one. I may take a look at those in the future. Because CosplaySky are allowing me to do another video on this where I'm going to take this apart and make it into a more sort of screen accurate version, but again we'll talk about that in a little while. So this is everything that comes with the costume and this will set you back $151.99, so if you're where I am that's about £125 or thereabouts. All your basic parts are kind of sewn together, fabric parts, and the armour is actually done in a faux leather and a couple of different types of faux leather, so you've actually got a couple of different textures going on here as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a closer look at some of the parts that come with this. So first up we've got the undersuit. Now the undersuit is in two pieces and it's sewn together with like a kind of sort of thick, almost a canvasy type material. Now the fabric work I find on CosplaySky costumes are normally really good. This one seems like no exception. It's fairly simple but it's detailed enough. We've got all the different panels, we've got all the different coloured stitching. We've got things like we've got the separated sleeves up here on the arms. We've got the neck ring already stitched in, and also on the back you do have a half zipper for ease of access. So they make these normally in standard sizes. So for this one I've just gone for a men's small. So it's got the right shape because it'll be a slightly different shape for a female one. So I wanted kind of the right shape for the Mandalorian. For the trousers as well, again, you've made out the same fabric. These trousers are done as more of dress trousers, so you've got the button and the zip, and also some belt loops if you do need some extra support at the top. Sometimes CosplaySky costumes do come with pockets. This one doesn't come with pockets, so you can't put your phone in your trousers, but that's not too big a deal because there are a few pouches on this costume as well. Also on the trousers, two of the armour pieces are actually stitched into the fabric, so you've got the actual two thigh pieces here. So you've got one of the, I think it's like part of the old Scarif Trooper armour and some other Mandalorian armour plating on this leg. The rest of the armour pieces go on separately. And yeah, the undersuit itself, really nice quality. Moving on from that, we've got the other sewn pieces. First off, we're going to look at this, which is kind of like the flak vest it's referred to. This also has some of the armour pieces stitched onto it, so we've got the chest armour on here. This one also has a nice hidden zipper at the back, so easy to put on. Again, really nice fabric quality. This stuff doesn't feel too thin. It's got some nice padding, gives it a little bit of depth. So this one will sit on the top here. And for the sewn fabric pieces, we got this, which is like the cummerbund slash sort of cod piece. Again, just made with a fairly thick fabric. There's a little bit of padding in there as well. All the detailing stitched on is like all the correct stitching, as far as I know. This one has actually got a Velcro attachment to it, and that normally just sits there. The only other fabric piece we have is this, which is the cape. So this just seems to be a bit of fleece fabric. It's just fleece on one side and it's smooth on the other side. We've got a couple little safety pins. I assume that's just the one thing to connect it to the actual jacket itself. It doesn't seem too thin, which is one issue with some capes that you can get with costumes, especially like the cheaper Vader costumes. If you have like a thin black fabric, light tends to shine through it a lot, which just makes it look really thin and horrible. But I think with the fleecy one, this isn't too bad actually for the fabric. So again, we got to see how this looks on because I haven't actually tried this one on yet. So yeah, all the fabric pieces really nice. Now we got to move on to some of the armour pieces. Now obviously if you're looking for a really good sort of close to screen accurate Mandalorian costume, this is not the one to go for. Now I think a lot of people will probably be very new to Mandalorian costumes following, watching the show, maybe people that haven't cosplayed yet but really want to do a Mandalorian. So a lot of sites are now making costumes like these. I just don't want people to fall into the trap of, if places do sell stuff like this for a lot of money to get it, and then get stuff like this, which is, it's not armour, it's just, like, this is just a padded leatherette, that's all this is. Obviously, if you're looking to get into cosplay groups, stuff like this will not be accepted. If you're just looking for a fun little Halloween costume or something to work on, again, this isn't too bad. But if I was looking to get a full Mandalorian costume, I would not go for this personally. So we're going to take a look at some of the actual armour pieces themselves and what they're made out of. So for example, this is a shoulder belt. In the show, this is, I think this is again part of a Scarif Trooper armour, which would normally be like a vacuum formed plastic, or a lot of people 3D print these costumes nowadays. But here all the armour pieces are made out of this sort of thick kind of leatherette material. So again, it's just like a flexible fabric. A better example with the other shoulder belt on this side. A simple stitched together sort of piece of leather. And it doesn't look too bad. I was actually expecting this to be a lot lower quality. I've seen some other stuff which is like really horrible paper thin stuff. Again, this isn't too bad for like a very early kind of starter kit, like a Halloween costume. But again, as I said, if you're looking to do actual troops and go for clubs and stuff, this isn't probably what you're looking for. Further down the arms, we've got these, which are the gauntlets, and you can see these are just shaped, sort of stitched together bits of leather. Yeah, not too bad quality considering it is a leather piece, but again, really, really low on detail for what is supposed to be like a really high-tech gauntlet. I mean, this would work with some like other costumes that are a bit more simpler and you need a sort of bracer to go with it. I don't think it's too bad, but again, it's just not close to what the Mandalorian wears on screen. Moving further down, we've got the gloves. Now, this for me, I think, is the worst part of the costume. These gloves are made with an incredibly cheap, rather nasty feeling kind of leather. These are the very similar gloves to what I got when I ordered my direct Krennic from them, and I immediately changed those gloves out for a pair of decent leather gloves. They just feel really, really cheap to wear. This is the kind of leather that will start to peel away from itself, and the stitching on the inside is like really thick, like I can feel where sort of the offcuts of leather are on the inside. I mean, for once there are gloves that kind of fit me, but some of the actual finger lengths are a little bit off. Like these are all stitched right, and then this finger's got like a lot of gap in the top. Again, the hand plate's made out of the sort of the same leatherette material, so it's flat, doesn't have much definition to it. So this is something I will definitely just fully replace. And unfortunately, they are the worst part of this costume. The armour itself, as I said, I was quite surprised. It's like a quite nice, thick, fake leather, but this is really not nice to work with. One thing this costume does come with, though, is a lot of straps, and some of the straps actually do have some good detailing on. And here you can see there is a different kind of leather used on these. They've got a different texture, and they've got the right detail, but don't have any of the like little prop bits in it, so you're missing all the kind of sort of like little ammo pieces or whatever it is that he carries in his chest strap. We're just going to call it the chest strap. It's the one that goes across the chest armour, I think, that he uses to hold his disintegrator rifle. And the metal pieces aren't metal on this, it's just a silver leather. But to be honest, I do think that with just a little bit of sort of work and weathering on this, I can get this to look pretty decent without having to redo any of the straps. See, it does have some nice detail on it. So honestly, I was prepared to be a bit more harsh with this than I am being at the moment, because they've actually surprised me. The quality of the straps are fairly decent. Here we've got, this is the waist belt. Looking at the pictures, I think this has been stitched in the wrong place, this pouch, because I had to look at the pictures to figure out which straps go where. But again, we've got like a nice little velcroed working pouch on this belt here. It's just, everything is just very, very clean and new. So again, it's got really good detail on it. It just needs to be worked on a little bit. But you know, that's not too bad. Alright, moving a bit further down the legs, we've got a couple more of what would be the solid armour pieces on the Mandalorian, but as I said, these are still all done in leather. But we've also got the holster as well. Again, the holster is really nicely done. It doesn't come with a side arm or anything, not that I would expect that to, but this actually can be a functioning holster. So they've got a little slot in here. So you can actually make a sidearm and put it in here. And this just goes on the belt, just through the loops here. Same with like a TK holster. So if you do end up replacing the belt, you can still keep the holster itself, because all it's got to do is just slide on. We've got sort of like these little side bits here. I don't know the technical term for what it is on the costume. It's not something you really get to see that much in the show. They kind of like sit on the hip areas. So these are sort of panelled pieces. These are done with a sort of a little bit of fabric stitched into the back of 3 pieces, just so you can pop it and it flexes. And again, it doesn't look too bad actually, considering these bits aren't going to be on show. And it's a really nice leather for these. It's a nice blue one, and it's actually got quite a nice feel to it. Again, I was expecting to be harsher to this than I am being, because I'm actually quite impressed with some of the pieces on here. And that same blue sort of leather is being used for this knee panel, which sits on there. And we move down to the final armour pieces. So we've got a couple of straps here that sit over this, which is the Shore Trooper leg armour. As you can see, this isn't a solid piece of armour. This is just a flat bit of leatherette. We've got what would be the armour detail stitched on separately, and it's also got a zip on each side, so you'd put it on, zip it up at the back, and that's kind of how it would look on sort of a rounded shape. And then you'd put this little strap on the bottom and this one nearer the top, so you'd have that with your little ammo bits in again. Very similar one on this side. Again, this one's even got a different leather to what's been used on any of the other pieces on this costume. So this is, you can see it's got different texture to it. This is a thinner stuff, which has got like a little silk lining on it, but again has that zip up the back. And the detail from this comes from putting the straps on the top. So you've got this strap, which has kind of got this little curved bit on the front that sits down at the bottom, and you've got another strap with another working pouch, which goes on the top of the shin. I do have another strap that came with the costume, but I'm not entirely sure where that goes, so I'm just going to put that to one side. But overall, I am fairly pleased with this. As I said, it's not something you should look for if you're looking to get a proper Mandalorian costume. That's something you should probably look elsewhere for. But for the actual soft parts, I think this is pretty good. And it's going to be something you can build upon and improve upon. But just be aware, for any people that are new to sort of the cosplay world and want to get into doing Mandalorian armour, don't go for stuff like this, because it's not proper armour. It is fabric, it is leatherette. It's not something that will be able to get you into clubs. But if you just want a fun costume just to wear out and about on occasion, again for Halloween parties, stuff like that, this does seem pretty good. So now I've got to put this on and see what this looks like on, and see how comfortable it is. that's the Mandalorian costume. As you can see, the cape is kind of just it's just fallen down. This material seems to be fairly kind of, well, there's a little bit of sort of give in it, and I've literally just safety pinned it on the chest, just where the safety pins were. And there's a massive gap down the back, so this piece of fabric will need some work. You see it's also trailing all on the floor, and I keep catching it, and yeah, that's just really awkward, and also the strap is a bit awkward to get on, so I've just slung it over my shoulder. Overall, I'd say the undersuit itself is really great quality, but kind of looking at sort of the leatherette armour once it's on, the legs really do not look great. I mean, it's sort of like all kind of rumpled up, and it just unfortunately just makes it look really cheap. The straps are alright, I quite like the straps. The gauntlets themselves aren't actually too bad. The gloves are still pretty horrible. The shoulder bells are a bit naff, to be honest. So I'm thinking if you do want a really good Mandalorian cosplay, this isn't the one to go for. So I don't know if CosplaySky would offer just the basic undersuit on its own. So just like, see the top, the trousers, like the little cummerbund, which does tend to sometimes sit up, so I might need to add a little popper there. And also this flak jacket without the stitched on armour, so people can build on top of that, because sometimes the soft parts are the hardest thing to get for a build like this. So I don't know if that's something that I'll consider. Possibly, I think that might be something to look at, because then again it's a little bit less work, and obviously if it doesn't sell, you can sort of stitch the parts on the top and sell it like this version. So personally, as it is now, probably wouldn't recommend it, but CosplaySky are allowing me to take this apart, and I'm going to be rebuilding it as I'd say a proper set of Mandalorian armour. So obviously this is based off his early appearance in the season. I think if I redo mine, I'm going to do it a little bit later when he gets a different set of armour. So literally remake all the armour pieces from scratch. I'll probably keep all the strapping pieces and again just work on them, make them look a little bit nicer. To redo the gloves, definitely work on the cape, because this is just, I'm not sure what that's doing. Also, it's definitely something you really need two people to do, because the zips on the back are quite hard to do by yourself. But CosplaySky do also offer the Mandalorian helmet in two kind of different qualities, so let me guys know if you want to see me sort of repurpose one of the helmets they offer, or if when I redo this piece, if you just want me to just do a helmet. I'll probably end up getting someone to 3D print it for me and then work from that. What would you guys prefer to see? Do you want to see me sort of modify a pre-existing one, or just do a 3D print? It is getting quite hot in this now, so I think I'm going to take this off. But thank you, CosplaySky, for sending me this and allowing me to do a review and be honest with it. I think, yeah, if you offer just the undersuit, I think it would definitely be worth the price. Obviously a little bit lower when you don't have all the extra armor pieces on. Because the stitch quality on the fabric pieces are great, it's just the armour that really does let it down. But thank you guys so much for watching. Special thanks as always has got to go to Jeff Kenny, who supports me on Patreon. If you want to support me on Patreon and maybe help me to try and do this full time, which I'd like to do, the links as always are in the description below and at the end of my videos. I'll also link the two other CosplaySky reviews at the end of this video as well, which is my Director Krennic and the Jedi. And stick around on this channel if you're new here, because next up we will be looking at doing the actual main Republic Commando armour. I've done a couple of bits on here before. I've done the helmet and the backpack, and now this weekend, as of recording, I will be tackling the actual full armour build itself. So it's going to be a long build, but I'm hoping I'll be able to make it look really, really cool. So once again, thank you for watching, take care, and as always, this is the way.